I remember when I was young, we would go to the arcade. There were actually a number of them. The movie theater, the mall, the fun park, the bowling alley, pool hall, the pizza parlor. Even grocery stores and gas stations had arcade games. It was the bigger arcades that really got me, though. They were surreal, a world of shadowed chambers, illuminated by these glowing, flashing screens, and brought to life by a never-ending chorus of sound. My father would give me a handful of quarters, which would immediately fill me with a sense of wonder and adventure. I could now play any of these games, any one that I deemed worthy, I could have for at least a small measure of time. And the trick was to find a game that was both captivating and that I was good enough at as to extend the sweet spot for as long as possible. I would wander around at first, taking in the different games. As much as so many of them amazed me at the time, it can be hard to remember their names. I know there were the older classics: Pac-Man, Galaga, Centipede, Joust, Frogger, Cubert, Donkey Kong, but it was the newer fantasy and adventure and monster games that really grabbed my attention. Altered Beast, Magician Lord, Gauntlet, Rampage, Magic Sword, Ghosts and Goblins, Blues Journey, Cross Swords, Dungeons & Dragons, Tower of Doom, Golden Axe, and Rampart. Even games like Ninja Turtles, X-Men, The Simpsons, Strider, Samurai Showdown, and Street Fighter II held some amount of majesty for me. Despite the fact that I played my NES at home, and later the Super Nintendo, there was still a certain feeling that could only be felt by entering the entrancing world of the arcade. And that is exactly what it felt like, because these glowing screens, in them I found portals to other worlds, other realities, a realm of imagination and danger, where anything could lie just beyond the edge of the next screen, where even the lowliest of adventure sites were crafted with aesthetic value. Time would slip away into something that no longer made any sense. I would stroll from station to station, from world to world, gazing into those portals, those beckoning colors amidst the darkness and sea of sound. Everything would run together, all the music and voices and sound effects and spectral flashes. That is, until the next game was approached. At that moment, all others would fade out, and the singular visual and audio stimuli came to focus. A new challenge awaited, and I would know that I could not hold it forever. I would inevitably have to let it go. Whether I won or lost, there it would remain. And though this truth made it hard to leave the arcade when the time came, I know now that it helped to sustain the passion. They say distance makes the heart grow fond, and I have a mind to agree. Many years and consoles and countless games later, I found myself wondering what happened to the arcades. It's not hard to figure out that home consoles and computer gaming stole the show, but why still this feeling of loss? Is it nostalgia from a childhood era forever gone? Perhaps. But I can't help but feel a tinge of sorrow when I go to those old stomping grounds, only to see them either out of business or only existing in a fraction of their former glory. They'll just have a few games now, two of them will be fillers and the other one will be broken down. It's enough to make me miss those times in a way. It's just, it was an experience altogether unique unto itself, but it's all gone now. Young kids growing up nowadays will probably never know it even existed at all. But that is the way of the world, I suppose. Always changing, progressing, moving forward, rarely turning back. I can't be upset about this. It is what it is, and I'll bet for good reason. I simply feel it is my place, as someone who has always been a part of the loose gaming community, to add this small piece, a tiny landmark a miniature monument standing amidst the fog of time, saying quietly to all who pass by, "There were others that came before you, and I was one of them."